Perhaps this is because there's already so much magic damage on the top side. If you have the set down in bottom, well, yes, you can get him to some core item completions faster. You have 3 magic in mid-top jungle. It makes it so easy to itemize against, and it becomes really brutal even inside of the laning phases for them. So, allocating Scent up to top lane, I think is a much better choice, and I think that it curves into the later stages of the game a lot better as well, given that you're going to want the physical damage that comes from him. And honestly, DAMWON, I don't know how you feel, Valdez. I feel like they got a massive draft victory here. And a lot of the pressure on KT is going to be, can they get ahead in laning phase, and can they convert that into something meaningful?
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of our teams in the LCK struggle with exactly that, and I would agree. It does look like DAMWON definitely did get the better of the draft this time around, and KT have no one to blame but themselves. You know, they are the ones that went for the Varus Jarvan for the first couple of picks. It's not something you see very often, but I suppose they're putting a lot of their eggs into the aiming basket, as he has been playing quite well nowadays. They get him his Varus after the Kalista was banned by themselves, and they get Bono, obviously a huge comfort pick on the Jarvan at the same time. So can comfort and some potential early game wins actually push KT over the line, or are we going to go to that game 3 as we expected?
Well, this could definitely be one of the series that goes the distance, as so far we've been having some pretty quick games here, Valdez. To kick off round 2, definitely a bit of a change of pace from literally can't kill to I can't think of I can't think of 3 words on the spot.
It's hard when you're an NA caster, I understand.
Does make sense.
Yeah. We're gonna need Atlas to can we phone a friend? Like, we're on the remote broadcast, we just add him to the the voice call. But yeah, it's been a lot more action, especially in this series early on, as we did see that in game number 1. They're gonna go for a bit of a late invade. We do have Canyon and Nuguri up there, just getting to work. As Nuclear, really nice sidestep down in the bottom side, avoids all of that Mantra Q damage.
And aiming and Tushin down here, just trying to get as much poke as they possibly can. Remember, this is fasting Senna. And Senna is able to still exist in this state, even with the change to the support item, because all that it does is require an ally to be in tribute range. So Nuclear are going to try to get as much souls as possible while trying to funnel all of the gold into Rumble. And Rumble, even with just 1 or 2 core items, is still a champion that deals a lot of damage. So the Varus comes out here. Now he has lethal tempo. This doesn't mean that he can't go lethality. We've seen that from UCal, and we've seen it from some other Varuses and solo queues across the world at high MMR, where you have the lethal tempo so that you have 2 modes. You have the ability to do the poke on Varus, do insane amounts of damage, but if you do have to go close quarter combat or start fighting with your teammates, you do have that option.
Yeah, it's definitely a very versatile build. We'll see if he does end up going for that lethality. Looking for the gank here. Can they get the freeze down? That will be one big punch to the back of Sohan. A very early first blood already going to go to Nuguri.
And that is a very big tempo swing up there in top lane. Kennen off the recall, not even going to actually teleport, just gets tier 1 boots in a control ward, starts running immediately back up to top, and things already starting out very good for DAMWON on the top side of the map as well as the jungle. Bot side, though, can't really say the same, as Beryl and Nuclear really just getting outclassed down here.
Yeah,
by Tushin and aiming. They might even get dove. Someone has teleport. This maybe is why he saved it. Let's see if he teleports to Jarvan's ward, or flag. Might not even need to, actually.
Bono's waiting for it, and actually they're going to have to disengage as aiming is going to get sniped by the Senna. And they had enough healing to get under turret and survive and heal up. And so no dive comes in. They're able to call it off before anything disastrous happens.
Alright, well, definitely surprising. And Kuro here in mid, just doing really good at trying to farm this out, although he is very low on mana, and Showmaker doing a really good job at just sustaining. Still has his red potion available. And also a minute and a half until the spellbook is up, so not a whole bunch happening here, Valdez. Inferno Drake is the first one of the game. I think that this is probably just going to turn into mostly paying attention to the discrepancy between top and bot as this game draws on.
Yeah, it does feel like, as we said before, the draft was heavily won by DAMWON, and if they can get an early lead like they have already for the top lane, and they're going to get their Rumble fed, the Senna's going to be having fun. And we can see here that Canyon is just doing the Krugs up on the top side after clearing that whole side of the jungle. And they had a ward down, but it was not enough to save the life of the poor little cannon.
Aiming, just trying to maybe shove out this next wave and then immediately get a recall off. It is the cannon wave, and so Nuclear and Barrel will find themselves in a pretty good spot. As Varus just trying to shove as fast as he possibly can, but you can see that Senna and Rumble already on their way back over to the lane. Aiming now going to get his recall off a little bit later. Tier 2 boots was the first item of choice for Barrel. And Nuclear down there only managing to afford double longsword right now. And Someone is actually doing a pretty okay job up here in top lane, but Sejuani pathing to the left-hand side Scuttle Crab should be able to get that, and then they can threaten. Oh, actually.
Ooh, that's a big amount of damage.
Lethal.
Yeah, he did. He absolutely did.
The combo there is
him out of lane.
Facebreaker into suplex into W, and Someone doesn't have his flash available. It is 100% kill every single time that Someone has no counterplay for. So, not really sure why Nuguri wouldn't go for that. Very, very surprising.
Yeah, suppose he just, I don't know, I suppose he thought that the Jarvan was there or something. Either way, it still would have been a kill. Kuro is being clapped right now, but it is going to get Canyon to safety over the wall. Now Showmaker looking to turn this one around. The stun and the flash away from the stun in hopes of trying to get that knock up and pick up the kill. It doesn't end up being enough to take down Kuro, but a fancy play with the fancy flash coming out there from Showmaker, as now in comes the suplex. Bono is going to have to flash away to get away from that one.
KT really in a very rough spot here in this game number 2. They're down almost 1,500 gold. Their only real victory is coming down in bot lane, and even that is going to probably start dissipating soon as the game does start to open up and more item completions come in. Aiming, he does have that Vampiric Scepter, so we do have the answer that he's not going to be going for the lethality poke Varus.
Oh, trying to bait this fight down here. You can see the flash comes out sooner than Bono expected, and now we have a teleport coming in. Showmaker, no Ornhorn, and kind of looking silly now in the mid lane. The Syndra was out of position, has cleansed, so not really able to follow up, but you can see that the teleport not able to do too much. I suppose it stopped the bottom lane of KT from chasing, but that is all that ends up happening, as Nuguri, by far, has the most experience in the game.
Well, Nuguri is doing a pretty good job here. Also sitting on a lot of gold, waiting for his recall, as Rip Carroll now going to be picked up by Canyon. And everything is just really curving out very well for DAMWON. Remember, they're a team composition that doesn't need to be ahead of their opponents. They have so much late game scaling on their team. They're going to have the Trinity Fusion on set. You're obviously going to have Abyssal Mask and Sunfire Cape upgrade for Showmaker. Sejuani could even pick up an Abyssal Mask, although we haven't really seen any jungler do that when having Ornn on their team. And then I don't think Senna needs an introduction to scaling, as Kuro hits the 7-10 split, but it's not where the pin was located.
Feels bad for him, as Yeah, we've had a couple of plays, but outside of that, there hasn't been too much action. But at the same time, a nice little gold lead has been opened up here for the side of DAMWON. Already about 2,000 gold ahead. They're going to be able to pick up this Infernal Drake first. And Nuggery says, yeah, I guess I'll just take the blue. Orange doesn't really need it. And I like money. Cooldown reduction, I suppose. So I'm just going to... Oh, no, he's actually going to leash it here for the orange. So Nuggery just being a nice guy as the jungle... ends up getting that eventually. So Showmaker with that blue, obviously going to be able to just spam his abilities, push back against the Syndra. So, of course, is going to end up being the better choice.
Well, this is looking really rough right now. As Ornn now with the blue buff in mid lane, gonna have a lot more freedom. Canyon whiffs the ultimate down in bot lane. Doesn't really matter though if they don't find any kills. Everything is perfectly fine for them. Mountain Dragon coming up second. Isn't the most ideal for DAMWON unless they roll Ocean. Because with Set and Sejuani and Ornn on your team, if you can actually just get Mountain Soul, it's really good. Because of all of the resistances, but obviously Ocean, not that bad either. As Valdez, I do believe that we're getting a Black Cleaver, potentially, on Set. Some things never change.
Yeah, you know, we're back here at the LCK, and that's just the way it's going to be. Most of our sets, they like to build Black Cleaver, and I don't think that's going to change. But, yeah, just going to pick that one up. So, kind of interesting, as Bono, he's making his way down south. He's walking fast and faces pass, but he's homebound. So at least he's got that going on for him, as the lockdown is going to come in. The flag and drag does miss, but is it going to matter here as Nuclear is not able to follow up? And that's just a straight up kill onto the Rumble.
And Nuggery up here in top lane, just sort of pushing, has the Rift Herald. They'll probably end up utilizing it here in top lane, allocating all of the plates into Nuggery as Canyon struts his way over to the right-hand side. And so that is going to be a 5 turret plate set. And remember, the turret plates are buffed on this patch, so 160 gold each, as well as first turret going over to Set as well. So this is about as big as you could possibly be. And it's just really sad that he's going to end up getting a Black Cleaver when all of his teammates basically only deal magic damage. And then Set's goal is to primarily land the Haymaker, dealing true damage. So Barrel comes in right here.
Yeah.
Ends up dying. Cast the Equalizer, not able to do a whole bunch there. 3,000 gold advantage for DAMWON with an Infernal Dragon. And this is a totally different game than game number 1.
Yeah, well, they won in draft, and early on, they were able to snowball top to just... They snowball so many objectives when they do that. They're, as you mentioned, able to pick up the first turret. It's just everything. The Lightning Rush is down. Nuggery considering going in there onto Sohan. Here comes Bono from the jungle, but with that play, he's spotted on the ward, and they'll both back away, although Sejuani is trying to find him in the jungle here. Up a level is Canyon over Bono, and so can bully a bit one-on-one.
And right now, down in bot lane, we're just basically having ping-pong in all the lanes, and so we are back to a little bit of a lull state. And Valdez, I was thinking about something that you said actually in series number 1 about Animal Crossing, and I'm just not convinced. I feel like it's going to be just like Pokemon, where everyone talks about it for 2 weeks, and then the hype dies.
You know, I feel like
that's what
the
I'm
way
really
it is
worried
with
about.
a lot
And
of things
so
nowadays.
I went to the Toys R Us. It's actually located on floor 3 of my building. So
Okay.
I went down to the Toys R Us. I got in the elevator. I went down there, and they were sold out. So I didn't get it. Now, one might think that I could get it in the store, but no. I want the actual physical copy. I like looking at the box.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do that. Okay.
You're gonna put the box on your desk and stare at it all day? Yeah, I'm like kind of the opposite, where I don't like to have extra things. A lot of people in esports like to, you know, collect memorabilia and stuff like that. I have some meaningful stuff, but I don't collect literally every single thing like a lot of people do, and just clutter up their desk and apartment. I like to keep it minimalistic at some level. And that's why I didn't get Animal Crossing. Anyway, we are going to turn onto the Mountain Drake, and there is going to be no contest by KT. They're just looking for another pick with Bono. They said, hey, that worked last time. How about we try this again?
Yeah, and now, okay, they did roll perfectly. It is going to be Ocean Dragon that will be spawning, and the longer that this game goes, the worse and worse it really gets for KT. This is absolutely brutal, because all of the tankiness is just going to start coming in. Syndra's going to basically deal no damage. Cannon is going to deal no damage either. We talked about this in Series 1 when Silas built a Proto Belt. It feels even worse on Cannon when you end up building this item, because when you're behind and then you try to transition into the mid game, it's an item that it gives you a lot of power when you complete it early, and its recipe components are also really powerful inside of lane. But you know, when it stands toe-to-toe with other completed items in the game, it doesn't end up providing a lot of value. And when Cannon is going to be on the back foot and struggling as it is in the game, it just really feels like a death slot.
Yeah, the one thing that you mentioned that's really important is the gold value comparison, because, you know, it's not just that the one item is straight up bad, it's that there are a lot of times better options in certain game states, which of course is something we talk a lot about, Morel Namicon versus Leandries, but we're not going to get into that. Nobody's built either of those items yet in this game. Oh, actually, I was wrong. Morel Namicon completed for Beryl down on the bottom side, so thank you for that, Beryl. He's bought one of the items.
Well, Nuggery up here in top lane, 3 minutes until Ocean is going to come up, as Spectre's Cowl built on Canyon. And so that means it will not be the Abyssal Mask into Infernal Mask upgrade able to be gifted by Showmaker. So I feel like a bit of missed opportunity there because of how efficient that item is, and then how much value everyone on the side of DAMWON would really just get from it, except for, I guess, Set.
The Syndra pushing really far up, but had her orbs in position. So on flashes away. They're going to try to re-engage, but the suplex into the back line. Do they have the damage? Yes, they will take out Nuggery. And a huge Cataclysm by Bono is going to create so much room for KT. That's 2 kills in their favor, just like that, on a fight that DAMWON opened up. And as you guys can see, after picking off those 2 members, they're going to push down the mid lane and try to get as much gold to try to come back in this game.
And right now, KT now raising mid-tier 1 turret. It's going to basically bring the gold lead to just under 2,000. Let's take a look at this one more time. DAMWON were the ones that said, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. There's no objective up, Valdez. There is nothing to fight over at all. So,
ults.
Yeah, everything just going completely wide, and then KT, beautiful engage or counter engage there by Kuro to really set all of this up, and that's just 2 kills that DAMWON didn't need to give over to KT, and they did. And it's not the end of the world. It's going to take a lot more of those blunders for KT to have a chance in this game.
Yeah, you don't want to, you know, it was just the 2 kills. They were able to take the turret as well, so it's a decent amount of gold to try to get them back. But as you mentioned, the game is not going to change all too much. Solon is going to be in position here, finds Canyon, and will just back away, supporting Kuro, as looks like Shirley was the one to come on down and take out that turret. But yeah, now after that play, I mean, it doesn't look like much on total gold and on paper, but they get both of the kills onto 2 of their carries, the Syndra and the Varus, going to get a nice little influx of extra gold. They're being bailed out by the government that is DAMWON right now. And you know, getting some extra paychecks, and that might allow them to hit their timings faster and be more of a menace when it comes to, you know, the future team fights around some of these Drakes.
Yeah. 20 seconds now until Ocean. KT trying to get into position, trying to have control over the right-hand side of the map right now. 10 seconds. Still remaining. As DAMWON now moving into River. See what else can end up transpiring, but KT being just repelled immediately. They probably are still very aware that they are not actually favored in a straight-up team fight. Something would have to go catastrophically wrong out of DAMWON in order to make it so that KT could somehow win a team fight. So the other thing about this is Syndra with a needlessly large rod doesn't seem to be going Void Staff, and so the Rabadon's Death Cap will help out with wave clear, but Syndra's not going to be dealing a lot of damage. Varus is really the only hope KT has right now. I hope that Soan is going to complete the Void, or the Blasting Wand and the Amp Tome into a Void Staff, because if that completes into a Morello, or if it completes into a Leandri's, I just don't think... I don't think we have another nice 10 minutes on our hands.
You just know in the back of his mind, he's like, but they're gonna get Ocean Soul, but they have a Senna. I gotta stop the healing. But I mean, you're right. If he goes for that, his penetration is not nearly gonna be as good up against all of this magic resistance that is on the enemy team right now. So we'll have to see what kind of items he does build as a bit of a rotation coming up to the top side here by KT. Just hanging around this Baron, seeing if they can pick off anyone. It's kind of like a train. They're all following Bono through the jungle, but nothing ends up occurring here as they have not found anyone.
It's looking really rough here, Valdez. We have had now 4 really decisive draft edges so far in our return here to round number 2. And this is actually making me, watching these games is making me want to go back and try to look at all the drafts and what me, you, and Atlas always basically talked about inside of the pick ban, because it feels like in the LCK, these things are like a surety. Like, these stages of the game are almost guaranteed with how the teams conduct themselves in play. And that's why the draft edges are so important to look at in C, because right now it's basically all eyes on Varus.
Yeah, the Syndra, as you mentioned, it looks like she's going Spellbinder, actually. So I suppose she wants an item quicker. I mean, she's already got Phase Rush. I'm not sure exactly why she needs more movement speed. Of course, she casts a lot, and a lot of the members in the game cast a lot, but I'm not sure that that ends up being worth it in the end. So perhaps just wants a spike that comes quicker and eventually does make its way in. Speaking of items, we do have Sohan going for Leandri's, so it's not going to be the Void Staff, but it's not Morello, so I feel like at least you're going to be a bit happier about that.
Yeah, for sure. As KT, they are just trying to clear out vision on the right-hand side, but their hand is going to be forced in 2 minutes when that Ocean Soul does end up coming up, because it's do or die for them there. And like you mentioned, the Spellbinder, it was picked up by Syndra, but would she not have just been able to get to Death Cap? That's the big question, because I feel like she would have. Varus has the Rage Blade. Senna also very strong at this point, has Umbral Glaive. Probably going to be able to get to her next lethality item very soon. Leandri's even on the Rumble, as Sohan immediately trying to push out the wave, and things are really rough. This next team fight, I feel like it's just going to be a complete blowout in favor of DAMWON, them getting the Ocean Soul, them getting the Baron, and then shortly thereafter ending the game.
Well, you got to stop looking at that script. That's all I got to say, because you don't want to leak it to the crowd, Mr. Leak script. And it does feel that way. We will have to see if it does play out exactly the way that you have said. But DAMWON has made blunders before, many times in this series already. So they have shown that they are prone to mistakes. And you got to be careful about that, especially on counter engages, as you see Syndra down here just trying to go 1v1 onto Nuguri, trying to poke him down a little bit. Of course, not really in kill range down there, but everybody now grouping up for the Ocean Soul that's coming up in 30 seconds. And KT, they do not want to let this go down without a fight, it looks like, as Nuguri pushing forward, but not far enough. He's extremely fast with the Dead Man's plate.
Well, 10 seconds until Ocean Dragon ends up coming up, and this is going to be it for KT. They're already missing some HP on some of their champions right now. Things are going to be a little bit rough, as Soan's going to have to try his best to find his way in, and it does look like Bono...
Thinking about the counter games there, he is going to go in for that, but the equalizer's so rough to deal with, and already Bono has to flash away from that one. Soan not in a great spot either. Still does have his slicing maelstrom, but the health bars are so much different. Big suplex into the back line as Tusing gets extremely low. Finally, the slicing maelstrom, though, is going to pick up one kill, but everybody else is just so low that they can't quite kite them down. Kuro finally looks like he was smited to death almost there by the side of Ornn. It ends up being a triple kill for that Ornn, as far as aiming is able to at least pick up a kill on the backside, but after that fight, it should just be the Ocean Drake and the Ocean Soul going the way of DAMWON.
Yeah, it's definitely going to go their way, and Valdez, I'm going to need you to turn the page for me on the script here, because Ocean Soul going down, they're going to reset one more time. Ornaments are going to keep coming in from this point. Let's just take a look at this. So, if you need more example of a team compositional discrepancy, I mean, you don't really have to look much further than this fight. Ornn Ultimate comes out, bounce onto Soan, he's missing all of his HP. And at this point, DAMWON has already been a little bit sloppy, but Nuguri finds his way in with the superplex onto several members, two-man face breaker, haymaker coming out. Soan does manage to help find the target right there, and then just take a look at this. Nuclear goes forward as Sejuani in the back end did end up getting sniped, but this almost looked like it was going to be very close. DAMWON just winning that fight super decisively, only giving over one member, but the end of the game is near. Probably going to have Yumu's Wraithblade picked up by Nuclear soon. As soon as he gets it, Ornn upgrades his item. Probably Rabadon's Death Cap for Beryl into Rabadon's Death Crown. Obsidian Cleaver already completed. And now it's just about, can DAMWON find the ability to press R on Ornn and R on Sejuani and turn off their monitors and run at the opponents.
And after R, press QW and E, maybe DNF if the time is right. Might help you out. One-on-one up in the top side. Ornn doesn't take damage. Not really sure why you're trying to 1v1 him. Maybe just trying to bait him, but down goes the Syndra just like that. Immediately just gonna disappear. That was a straight up one-on-one, by the way. As Ornn says, you're actually stuck in here with me, buddy. As down goes Kuro, and down will also go aiming. So the two carries immediately gonna disappear, and DAMWON can essentially do whatever they want.
I actually think they can end the game here if they wanted to. They have a large... Okay, we are in the LCK. Yeah, so we are going to back off.
I know it's been a while, LS, but...
Kennen does have Slicing Maelstrom, so he would have been able to all in there and try to Slicing Maelstrom, kill all of the minions, but pretty sure that DAMWON would still end up winning. Nuguri is just basically being the gatekeeper here. Right near the red buff, Facebreaker ends up missing. And gets the smite actually out of Bono. But it's not like he's going to go for a Baron still. Anyway, Elder, 3.5 minutes away. Senon's going to recall here, pick up an item. Sejuani as well. As Nuguri just pushes in the mid-wave before resetting himself. And this game is really, really over. He said, I don't see Varus, and said, no, I got him, by the way. I got Syndra. Get Varus. He said, let's end. I don't know who that was that was saying let's end, but clearly that wasn't the decision that was followed.
I think it was Showmaker that did call for that there. But yeah, Ornn is still pretty ridiculous. I'm not sure why the Sylas in particular was focused as a ban over the Ornn. I don't know if you have any insight into exactly
Valdez, what is
why.
What's your longe lat?
My what?
Your longitude latitude, Valdez.
Oh,
yeah, it doesn't
South
place
Korea.
you right. So you're not located in either team house playing this game right now. Thanks.
Okay. I see how it is.
Not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I feel like if it's not us, it might be the players themselves reconsidering why they did go for that ban. And, Bono, gotta be careful, buddy. He's going to go back into the lane. But, it does just feel like KT in dire straits here, desperately trying to push them back. Maybe Aiming can try to pull off some kind of carry, but it doesn't feel like that's possible at all right now. Everybody on the side of DAMWON has a ridiculous amount of items. And they're going to be flexing them. They're going to be smacking them with their wallets.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And, I mean, it does look like DAMWON, they might be super captain careful, though. Elder is only a minute away, so I think that it's really going to depend on what KT tries to do here. Because there's a chance that KT just surrenders all of their inhibitors, but then DAMWON might be a little bit too cautious to go any further than that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. We're getting a bit of a zoom out here, perhaps a flank, as, yeah, it's going to come in. So on looking for that flank right now. He's got a great spot to go for that slicing Maelstrom. They pick off two, but eventually he goes down. The Syndra ultimate comes in, really looking to stretch for Beryl all the way down the lane. But what about your teammates in the back there? Nuggery trying to slap two heads together and burst down Aiming, but it's not going to be enough, actually. They are stopping DAMWON in their tracks here, though. Big equalizer is going to come in, although a follow-up with the big shield is going to be quite nice. Not sure why Aiming went back, although it does make sense now as he's able to burst down that Rumble. And Showmaker, once again, this guy just doesn't seem to die. He's going to look for the knockup, won't pick it up. But KT able to stop the game from ending for now.
And I have absolutely no idea what just ended up happening, but KT are going to stay afloat. Now, one of the unsung things about this is they're getting lots of free farm with all these inhibitors being down now. It's a lot of gold also being funneled their way. I still don't think it means anything. So, immediately Canyon goes down right away. So-On gets an absolutely insane slicing Maelstrom as Aiming trying his best to just do whatever he possibly can inside of this team fight, doing so much damage, manages to flash away right at the very end, keep his kiting, and then he has the free deal onto Showmaker. But as we see in the live cam, it's going to be the Elder Dragon going the way of DAMWON, and if they can't win with Ocean Soul plus Elder Valdez, I think something is seriously wrong.
Yeah. And Ornn, don't forget about Ornn. He made his presence extremely clear there at the end of that fight, as he was not going to die, not by any means. The Elder, of course, taken in the picture-in-picture, and DAMWON will be moving their way in. Take a look at the damage taken. Top three members are actually on the side of DAMWON, so even though they're ahead, obviously KT able to dish out a lot of damage, but it's not effective damage against all of these beefy boys that they did have to go, and beefy girls. We got Sejuani over there as well. So everybody's included here.
Is a boy.
Oh, okay.
His name is Kevin Tuggles.
True. I forgot about that. You know, maybe maybe he wants to reconsider. Who knows?
All right.
As, we are having the push coming in. with the Elder Drake. Now, a good amount of weight there coming in. Suplex as well as the gigantic wombo combo. It doesn't get better than that. As, well, Syndra is going to survive, but it really does not matter because KT is not going to survive. Looking for that final kill in the fountain. In goes Canyon. They will be able to pick it up. Gives that one over to Beryl. As GG, the Nexus will go down, and we will go to a game number 3.
You know, I'm trying to think right now who to actually give MVP to, because I know that we on the Global Cast, we try to consider a lot of different variables.